So that being said, the Lord's voice is so loud that it's like a trumpet is calling. See, that's what's going to happen. The Lord is going to call us. That's exactly the description we're getting up front, right here, right now, about how we are going to be called. The Lord is going to call us, literally by name. That's how it's going to be, by the way. Every single one of us are going to be called by our names. So that's all we're going to hear. We're going to hear the Lord's voice. It's going to say, Brother Abedi, Sister Lucy, Brother Bill, come up. That's going to be what happened within a split second, by the way. It's going to happen just like less than a blink of an eye. We're going to be straight up. We're going to meet him in the clouds. Unbelievable. We're just going to. So that is the honeymoon, the rapture. We are going to be going to our 7 years of fun, getting the tour of heaven basically for 7 years, enjoying the Lord. And that's what the rapture is all about. That's what's being given. And the Lord's going to say, come up here, and we are going. See, that's another description is the voice of an archangel. See, we are called up to be with the Lord, with the voice of an archangel. You see, description in the Old Testament, many places, it gives you that description of how the archangel's voice is. It's very commanding voice. That like a deep and rich and powerful voice. When you hear it, you know it. I mean, you get goosebumps, your body trembles, you just want to just go. Do what you got to do. Verse 2, please.
Եւ շուտ մողոքին ին վրաս եկավ, դեսած է աթոռը տրված էր երկնքի մեջ.
Very important. Verse 2, please, in English.
Immediately I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne set in heaven, and one sat on the throne.
So you see here, the transformation happened. Immediately he was in spirit. See, immediately he was in this different form that he was from his regular body. Immediately he was in spirit. So you see, we split second, we change in our heavenly bodies. We go into our spiritual bodies in a split second. And then, poof, that's how we can transform. With this fleshly body, this carbon-based body, we can't go anywhere. Believe me, not even in space, because just to go to the moon, they have to wear 10,000 different suits and everything, and all the oxygen and everything else, and how to keep themselves from not being flying away, whatever. So imagine, our carbon-based body is not going to do anything for us. We aren't going to be going anywhere with this carbon-based body. So good news to everybody who's not happy with themselves so far. You're going to have a brand new body. You're going to have this beautiful, this spiritual body that you're going to be resurrected body. When you're going to go. So here, see, we see John changed to our new glorified body. See, he got changed into that body. And what does he see? The first thing he sees, he doesn't see the pearly gate, as we heard this, right? What did he see? The first thing he saw was the throne. He saw the prominence of the throne. He saw the God's might, his throne. That's the first thing. Not the pearly gates like everybody thinks, oh, we're going to go, die, we're going to go, and there's going to be the pearly gates and St. Peter standing and waiting for you. No. This is what's going to be. It's just like John saw. Boom, first thing is, whoa, right in front of the God's throne. Right in front of God's might. God's prominence. His throne. Now, it gives a description. In the Old Testament, the Israelites were struggling in idolatry, worship to the other gods, like Baal and Baalith and Ashtoreth and so on and so forth. All these different gods that the Israelites were having the difficulties by getting from influences and, getting involved in worshiping all these gods. So they were always building portable altars. If we go into the Old Testament, we see it over and over again, especially in all the kings. 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, the kings, the first kings and the second kings. You see the difference, all the places how the Israelites were building all these thrones. They're building all these altars for them on high places. They were building these altars in all high places. They built all these altars for all these gods, for, chasbas in Armenian. Just like us today, we build our own high places. See, this is another thing. Now it comes back to us. We put things and idolize them. Money, lover, car, house, business, nightclub, philosophy, number of things that we idolize. We put that in high places. We think that is the most important thing in our life. Instead of putting God first, instead of putting God's throne in our face, we put other things, materialistic things, earthly things. And we discussed this many times before. All these earthly things, how it just vanishes and gets taken away from us, or just deteriorates and dies. So here, the description of the might of the throne is very important, because that is given a symbolization that regardless of all these altars that they built them, but eventually we are bored with all these things. That's another problem happening. We get bored with them, and it's shifted and it's gone. It's always shifted and gone away. See, we get bored regardless of how much we care for something, how much we idolize something, how much we think. I can give a simple example. When I bought my last car, I thought it was the greatest car ever built, that I will drive that forever. Well, in the last several months, I was doing everything I can to sell it. You see what happens now? It changed. Now I got bored with it. It's not important anymore. People think, going to nightclubs is the greatest thing. They go. After a few months or a year or two, becomes no big deal anymore. I don't want to go anymore, man. That just doesn't do nothing for me. Or a house. You dream about this house. You do everything, and you kill yourself and work 20 jobs as possible. Everything's possible. You do everything. You go buy this house, and you are so happy. Year, 2 years, and then you see another house you like better. So your house doesn't look good anymore, even if it's the greatest house. But for you, it's no longer good anymore. See now what happened? You got bored and you got shifted from it. You got bored and you got shifted. So all these examples I'm bringing, there's a reason I'm going somewhere with it again, like I always do. It's very important. But here we see God's throne. God's throne is described in heaven, and it's permanent. Very important that this throne was permanent throne that doesn't move. Unlike all these thrones that we build, and unlike all the thrones that the Israelites built in their lifetime, for Baal and all these gods, for Ashtaroth and so on and so forth, all these gods that they were kind of falsely worshipping, they built all these thrones for them, but these were all movable thrones. These were all thrones that could be moved and destroyed. But God's throne in heaven, it's permanent. It's unmovable. It's there, so significant. It has so much prominence that there's no way it can be moved. So it's very important. The description he gave, it's very important why he gave it. Because God's throne was, is, and always will be. Was, is, and always will be.